in the mind of every voter kung anong mangyayari, diretso lang ba? Yung minsan kasi as campaigners, I always give lectures on the voting process, no? Kasi kung minsan yung naghahanda ng eleksyon, hindi nila naintindihan kung ano ba yung proseso in the mind of every voter bago siya bumoto. Kaya i-revisit natin to. Ang una siguro, of course, ang unang step is awareness. Dapat magiging aware yung mga kandidato that we are running before they can vote for us. That's why ang susunod dyan is interest. Kasi kung hindi interesado naman yung mga butante sa'yo, they would not go for you or they will choose your opponent. Ang pangatlong process is nag-i-evaluate yung tao. Scientifically, ang evaluation ng bawat butante, around majority of the voters would decide 1 week prior to election day. And number 4, saka siya nag-decide bago siya bumoto. So, this is the process na doon dapat natin bantayan bago natin magawa kung paano. For example, awareness, that's why we have this. We have this paraphernalias na para i-aware na we are running or a candidate is running. Of course, candidate would do some gimmickry, no? To put some interest that is important at lahat. So, to give semblance that they will represent the majority of our people. That's part of political campaign. Then the people will evaluate. So meaning, pag malapit ka sa kanila, they will empathize and sympathize with you. So malapit ka doon when they are going to decide. So when decide, then they will vote. Kaya yung iba, nagja-jump, no? Akala nila after informing the people of their candidacy, wala nang creation of interest, diretso na decide for them. So creation of interest is another process na dapat daanan. Kaya kung titingnan mo, if you are going to prepare political campaign the traditional way, ito yung mga mangyayari versus the specific, no? Ang political campaign na traditional is unang-una impulsive. So meaning, pagsimula ng filing, uneasy na lahat, no? Kasi it's all impulse, no? Emotional lahat. Yung iba, magsimula na mag-away. And political campaign, to some, if that is traditional preparation, reactive. Yung nag-aantay lang kung anong gagawin, nagre-react sa ginagawa ng kalaban. At the same time, speculative, no? Mananalo tayo dyan, sigurado dahil sa atin si ganito ganyan. More on speculations. Then individualistic, solo-solo. Then at the same time, broad, hindi klaro. Kaya kung if you're going to embark into a scientific political campaign, ang tanong ko, ilan bang boto dapat kunin ng ating congressman para manalo tayo? To be exact, ilan? 32,572 or ilan ba? Dapat we have to be specific. Paano natin gagawin? We have to calculate. Calculated yung galaw natin, no? Dapat we have to calculate from now on, day 1 up to election day, anong gagawin natin, saan natin kukunin yung mga boto natin. At the same time, we have to do it. We have to deliberately do it. Hindi lang natin iasa sa iba. We have to assign people to really do it for us. At the same time, we have to be accurate. Na pag ganito, municipality of Basilisa, in how many barangays you will win, how many precinct, ilan yung boto, sino yung mga tao based on the voters list na buboto sa atin. Yun ang titingnan natin isa-isa. Yung mga hindi sigurado, hindi natin isama sa bilang. And we have to synchronize. Meron tayo who will do the legal, media and propaganda. We have people in the organization. We have people in the barangay. We have the people in all ginawa yung organizational chart. So we have to be specific in the task para walang overlapping. Kasi minsan, nakakalimutan yung dahil busy na at malapit na yung election, yung specific matters dapat nakaspecify kung sino yung gagawa at sinong nakataas at nakatime frame. So if you're going to look at it, traditional approaches to political planning and management will create this harmony. Ito yung common errors in political campaigns. Because dahil traditional yung pagpaplano, nagkakaroon ng mga bagay na nakakalimutan sa pagplano. So disharmonize. That's why if you are prepared, we are going to prepare scientifically our political campaign, then we'll be drawing a blueprint of the campaign and ensuring victory in the electoral pitch of our principal. That's why I compared political campaign and war as more or less the same. They have many semblances and similarities. That's why in the preparation, planning, conduct, and underlying principles of war, parehas lang sa mga principles ng preparation ng political campaign. War is there to mobilize the army, stop social unrest, class conflict, and eventually wins the war. While political campaign is, the very focus of political campaign is how to transfer candidates' popularity, credibility, dedication to public service, mass support, and organizational effectiveness into actual votes. Marami tayong nakakalimutan in the traditional campaign na maraming ginagawa na expensive at mga kapoy for the candidate na hindi naman actually nag-deliver ng actual votes. Added lang sa gastos at added lang sa kapoy ng kandidato. So we have to revisit ano-ano yon and classify kung ano yung dapat na magdi-deliver ng actual vote, magiging effective yung ating organization. At the same time, war is the ultimate test of an army. If how good is your army, so is political campaign. Is an asset test of a candidate's political bankability. War determines the nature of the nation's future, while election will make or break candidates' political future. Mahirap na bumangon, lalo na pag natalo na. At the same time, that's why defective war strategies and conduct will lead to national disaster, while traditional campaign planning and operations will lead to political disaster. Kaya, in all times, yung panahon pa ng mga warring clans and dynasties of China, and even in Europe, meron silang assessment of war to win the war. Pag nasagot mo tong 11 na to at favorable sa iyo lahat, meaning mananalo ka sa gera, ganito pag-assess nila. Ganito rin we transmute this to assessment of political campaign. Ngayon, makikita na natin in our review kung saan tayo tumatayo if we answer this honestly. Number one question, kung sa gera daw, ito ginagamit sa all times, binago natin to. Ang number one question sa gera, who was the wiser ruler? Pag magaling yung inyong ruler, advantage ka na. Sa political campaign, who was the wiser candidate? Pag medyo magaling yung iyong kandidato, edge ka na, lamang ka na. Number 2 tanong, sa giyera, who was the more intelligent generals? Sa political campaign, who has better political handlers? Sila ba o tayo? Let us remember that our opponent came from the red section of the society. They all were trained to organize, to implement. So meaning, kung sabihin natin to, they are better than us in preparing this. Because they are already preparing and they have proven that to us that they won last time. So medyo edge sila dyan. Kaya so we have to correct that. Who has more able officers? Meron tayong officers na marami, able ba? Ibig sabihin in political campaign, who has more able political leaders? Ngayon, we have the control of the 7, we have 6. But I don't know if in the informal leaders or leaders underground, kung lamang ba tayo. Number 4 question, whose food supplies are more abundant? Medyo marami ata sila because regional party ata, chair sila. Who has more campaign resources? Ang panglimang tanong, whose soldiers are better trained? In political campaign, ang ating mga personnels ba are trained? Hindi ba isang putok lang, takbo na yung atin? Isang wrong information, naniwala na yung atin? So in short, we have to train our people. Number 6, whose troops are more orderly? Sa political campaign, whose political campaign is organized? Yun ang isa sa mga kanila ba o atin, nagsisimula pa tayo. In all times, war horses na mabilis ang mas kailangan para makarating ka agad kung suporta doon kung saan nangangailangan. In political campaign, war horses are volunteers. So who has effective campaign volunteers? Atin ba o sila? And those formation is dangerous. Kanila ba o atin, in political campaign, whose political situation is unstable and dangerous. Siguro lamang tayo dyan. Number 9, whose neighbors are more frightened in political campaign, whose party mates are more afraid. Mananalo, wala naman, kunti lang naman sila, pero are defeating the good ones. And number 10 was more goods and money. In political campaign, who has well-oiled machinery. Ibig sabihin, in political budgeting and political campaign, the major bulk of your money, meaning 75% of your money must be there on election day. Yun ang pag-budget ng pera. If you have 1 million na money, dapat sa election day, 750,000 pa yung pera mo. Ang 250, yun lang ang in-spend mo mula nang nag-file ka hanggang election day. That means 75% of the bulk. So meaning well-oiled machinery would require proper budgeting of campaign funds. Whose citizenry is calmer and whose political group is stronger. If you're able to, when you consider matters along this line, you will be able to understand structural weaknesses and strength. So you will be able to gauge whether at this point we are winning or not. Definitely, sa advantage tayo as I assess. So there are 5 fundamentals of war. In every military schools, they are teaching this, that there are 5 elements of war. If you are able to control these 5 elements of war to your favor, you are able to control the outcome of the war. Kaya number 1 is moral influence, means that which causes the people to be in harmony with leaders. Ang ibig sabihin yan in political campaign, dapat may advocacy ka, may packaging ka, may propaganda ka to make moral influence. Your packaging and your advocacy and your propaganda should fit to the need of your voters. So, dapat this is a sample, no? For example, in marketing, dapat kung sino yung lamang sa advertisement at propaganda, yun ang maraming benta. Like election, yun ang kailangan mo rin. So that the pure people will die and will follow your cause. That's why I sampled this propaganda in which I will be using in my campaign in the 1st district. Of course, I will be using that. Nilo, nasulayan na sa pribadong sektor, ilado nga buutan o makatao, leader nga masaligan, outstanding mining executive, o sa responsabling pagmina. That's I wanted to be introduced. All my trainers, all my campaigners will have one name and will introduce me as SAS. So meaning, pareha sila tanan. So walay subay naman, dali naman inumduman. So if we're going to train that to all our networks, to all our candidates, then we'll have advantage. Kaya ila, dili man train. So muna nga itong edge. At the same time, since I will be into the provincial board, these are the 7-point agenda: disaster preparedness and health services, in which I believe that Dinagat is an island province. We have to be prepared. Education, support, skills development, and scholarship is vital. And since I came from the mining industry, I wanted mining legislations and job creation that will benefit the people of Dinagat, and environmental protection and enhancement program for the benefit of protecting the environment. And I believe in letter R, rural and barangay development should be there, and there should be legislations on that, plus economic, tourism, and support programs, because tourism and mining can go together, and why is youth development and women empowerment. So those are the 7 programs. If we can make this to our candidates, especially katong na-contract, we can make packaging that would fit to their personality, because kanina packaging is fitted to me because that's me, that's my personality. So these are the things that I can do. If I will be asked to do or to talk about it, maski bali-balihon anak, katubag ko. So in short, we'll package our candidate individually fitted to the background of the candidate. At the same time, subliminally, meaning pailalong, guwapo imong presentation, pero pailalong naanay bira against your opponent. No, imong butangan o hilo sa ilalo. For example, I came from the mining industry, mining legislations and job creation. So meaning akong gitagpi-tagpi diha na para dili nila makita ang among weak line. So that's how to do packaging. So we will talk about it later. No? Ato kini memory. Na siya. At the same time, kay balo o responsable pagka board member memory. Rhyme lang, rhyme muna siya. At the same time, so next element of war is weather. Kanang panahon. So in na maistorya nga kanang i-consider man nimo the Battle of Normandy, the Allied forces attacked Germany in the coldest times na dili mo tuo ang si Hitler nga moatake ang Allied forces to attack him kay daghang mamatay tungod sa kabugnaw. Mo nang iyang gi-underestimate using the weather nga i-as cover, the Allied forces was able to attack on the day properly. So meaning gigamit niya ang weather, no, ang panahon. Kani unsa man sa political campaign, no? Sa political campaign ang panahon mo ng public opinion. So we have to control the public opinion, social climate and survey mo nang ato ang i-control. So unsa man ang social climate, ang radio. So all the radio, kung unsa may mabati nato, Surigao, Cebu, or ato ang radio, we have to control that so that they will have no way nga maka-advantage sa ato. Newspaper, o doon na may mubasa, we can use comics, we can use radio nga atong dala-dalahon, kanang motorcycle nga na-trompa, we put in some drama or packaging or unsa mga campaign that we do. We can do sini-sini in the barangays, to really reach out nga makontrol nato ang social climate. Of course, Facebook and social media. But kani ba dapat ang atong Facebook and social media and every activity that we have? For example, all the members of the association, kuha na itong Facebook account, imo na itong friend, kuha na itong cellphone para isara ka text. And we have already one text, isara. So one command. So we can control the social climate. Text brigade. So, na-system nga isara, ano din? So, chismis. Dapat in the chismis, we can control the chismis. Sa as early pa, pwede tayo mag-radyo di baktas to control and others. So, whatever is needed in our social climate na makontrol nato ang weather, then we will do that. Of course, there are surveys, no? Dagan kayo miingon in terms of surveys na unsa man ang political surveys. No, I designed political surveys like the surveys of SWS and other survey groups. No, taas-taas ni kung atong istoryahan, di lang ta motuoan ng survey sa uban kay dili man na mao. No? And the right formula of political survey is the margin of error is 1 divided by the square root of the sample size. That's the scientific and statistical formula of getting the margin of error in a political survey. Taas-taas na, o dyan na lang natin na istorya. We'll proceed with mga survey objectives, mga dapat elements, no? We can design survey that will be, of course, in planning, strategy planning for PR. We have PR people, they know better than us. But let us not forget that ang ato is the target votes permanente. No? We have to understand the target votes. So, ang ato ang kandidato, lugar, that's difficult to upload on PRC. No? But these are planning or the strategy for public relations. Most important is if the weather is not favorable to us, we have to create weather favorable to us. So, meaning kung ang panahon hindi favorable sa ato, dapat in political campaign, dapat ang panahon favorable sa ato. So if we are not able to control the weather, maglisod pa in election day. Dapat ang kontrolon. That's clear. Terrain, ang atong agian. No? The former story of Sun Tzu, ang akong libro Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Sun Tzu is a general of in the olden times during Chinese general who has not been defeated in the battle, in any battle in China, in ancient China. So terrain mo ni ikatulo, mo ni importante nga terrain. In political campaign, what is terrain? No? In political campaign, terrain is data. No? We have to know unang-una area profiling. So, pila may atong registered voters? 65,345. Pila ang first district? 3,575. 29,000 ang second district. Ang ato ang male voters mo ni atong female mo na. Ang atong number of barangays 100, 62 sa first, 38 sa second. Number of precincts 270 ang atong established. 501 established precinct. Ang atong cluster precincts 127. This data are important because this will synchronize with our barangay coordinators and our precinct coordinators and our number of watchers eventually. And this will, as early as it is time, we will prepare everything that we need for the watchers at the same time for their training. And those who actually voted, 52,000, around 80.43%. So since this is national election, this will eventually increase. Kaning ato ang 80.43 mo taas ni. Pero ang mangutana, pila may naka-biometrics among these registered voters that we have. So meaning, kung wala ni naka-biometrics ang kadaghanan, kung gamay siya, kung gamay po din atong boto. So that we have to be prepared. So dapat atong nang tanawon because we have still time to do the biometrics for our voters that are eventually would be willing or that are more or less surely to vote for us. Katong alanganin, ayaw na lang to i-appeal. So, we have been presented with the data that mas daghan ang babae nga liboto kaysa lalaki nga liboto. It's 78%. So, mas daghan po ang liboto sa second district kaysa first district. Kaya kung imong tanawon, 77% lang sa first district o sa second district, 83.67%. Kung tanawon nimo, mas daghan ang babae sa second district nga namoto kaysa lalaki. So in short, kung if we are going to campaign, kung imong shortcuton, sa second district, concentrate on the women because yun ang dagang turnout. So by this data alone, if you know the terrain where to go, you can design a plan that would fit to the need of the voters. Dili sabog, dili kalat ang imong padulungan. Kaya kabalo ka naman asa ka moagi. So that's how effective is in having data. As we go proceed pa, tanaw na nimo, asa man yung mga daghan. So we can start, kung imong tanawon, in the first district, ang taas nga turnout, Loreto, in which mo nang ato ang last time na alkansi ka. Mo nang bilin tagamay, ang tubahon. Why not increase the turnout in Basilisa na mas control na to? So that we have to concentrate. At the same time, in Libro, we have to increase that. Kaya kung kani mo parehas lang ani, then we have better positioning. Kay 13,000 doon kani sila 6,000 lang o 4,000. Imagine, if these two areas nga ato, pa-consider na ato in the first district, na tagas o boto, kani 6 o 4, 10 na doon dili 10 na doon na siya. Diba? Pero tanaw ni mo sa iyang turnout, mo na iyang total turnout. 5 of 4 is 9, 7 din 10. So meaning, although kung atong nang mapa-increase ang iyang percentage of turnout, then we have better position. So in short, that's very basic. That data is vital in planning. No? At the same time, nakita naman na nato, Basilisas 27, Barangays 16. So kung naatay mapa, we can plot this out. At the same time, matanaw nato ang distance of travel in campaigning kung asa ang atong control center. Then we will put in kung kinsa atong leaders. So kung atong tanawon in these areas, so Loreto ang Tubahon, who were our leaders in the past. Kato kung napili ta dito, we have to think it over na dili nato himuon og main leader at itong ilistan gamay. Kaya meaning siya that effective. So mo nang atong review ang operations na bahala ana because they know better than us. So those are only suggestions that we can do and redirect. So redirection lang. So dito ta sa second district. So taas yung turn out, di ba? Ganaw, Dinagat, and San Jose compared to the first district. But still, kung imong tanawon, San Jose has 13,000 voters and registered voters for Gagano. I don't know, because the basis of this was the previous result. Wa man ta kabalo karon sa bag-o. So we have to interpret the data with the previous result. Unang atong tanawon. So let's proceed. Muna, in area profiling, we have to understand the kinds of voters that we have. Of course, the intelligent voters, the box votes, and the type B, the swing votes. Of course, lamang tangidaan, kung imong markahon. How many really are members of the association who are voters? Dili na ito magkabag. Why not get the voters list and get the list of members of the association na atong i-compare tanan, atong chikon one-on-one and we will account. So that we will know how many votes that we will need kung sa members alone, sobra-sobra na. We don't need to go to other people and campaign for them. Kato na lang member ang ato ang hanayon, then we can go herd them on election day, tapos na ang laban. Diba? So that's command votes of the candidate and the opponent. Ilamang yun ay ng ilahan. So we have to look at based and dissect based on sa ilang statement of votes na nakuha per area. Ato man ang mahimay kung pilay nakuha niya aning klastera o kaning barangay nga cluster mo, idapit niya makita man nato ang mga apelyido diha. Stuking sa ni, makita ko nato atong chapter diha. So kanang chapter na na nato nga kani ano bang member nato ni balingbing dito. So mo nang atong bantayan, so that means we have to command now our president of our chapter dito sa area. That's only a suggestion. Areas that are mobilizing voters, no? Areas that are mobilized by vote buying. So asa man ni. So if our people are not able to vote, ihadlok sila, uban ikamang ipamalit, then we will guard. Butangan na to og wardyadaan so that dili sila makamang. We have already the data on that, no? Of course, we have to analyze also the profiling. No? We will profile our economic profile of our voters. Aside from that, we have to prepare the campaign operations plan. What are we going to do? Karon, we have to gather the data necessary for the planning. Kaya if we plan and we don't have the data, which is the basis of our plan, layo itong ato ang plano. At the same time, we have to scout probable leaders, ato na i-analyze, and prepare training modules and designs. How are we going to train our people? Before sending them to war, we have to teach our people on how to sell our candidates and how to sell our ideas and our aspirations together as one. No? And then media exposure and area visitation should be calendared now. Kay ang uban magbalik-balik, no? The usual thing, baya, muadto ta sa isa ka area, morning common comment lahat. No? In Philippine politics, muadto ta sa isa ka area, mas daghan pa ang mga gibit-bit natong mga supporters kaysa naminaw nato dito atong area. At the same time, sunod sa kadagan sa atong gibit-bit, daghan tagpakanon. Kunya, tungod sa kadagan tagpakanon, dako atong gasto. Nya napatay gasolina niya, nakapoy ta. Nya at the same time, ma-memorize na sa atong mga tao na ng atong diskurso. Kaya nga naman, kay ka-51 na sa kapamati. Nya at the same time, og dili mo tanaw ang kandidato palamano ang iyang driver, malamanuhan niya kasi 50. Kung pagduko-duko na siya. No? So in short, those are things that we have to correct. Finalize political packaging plan. We have to finalize computation of the campaign budget. How much really is the amount that we did in the whole campaign, gikan sa printing of this and that, up to the election day. No, ngadto sa atong bayad sa atong mga poll watchers, ngadto sa atong pakaon tanan. So we have to compute that so that we will know where can we source the funds. Then finalize political packaging. That should be done karon palandaan. Phase 2, pre-campaign period. Dapat we have core group of 10 per municipality already. This core group of 10 that will ensure that campaign will be implemented in the area and synchronize all the efforts. At the same time, ano siya, uman naman eh, naman. So, And we have to put up kaning special operations team. This special operations team is very important. This will support the operations nga itong ginabuhat. At the same time, we have to verify and counter-check strengths based on independent survey. So, ana siya, pag-prepare tanan, propaganda, additional funding, that's another matter. We will discuss that. Kani, importante ni. Activation of barangay leaders. We have already barangay coordinators. So what's the function we have to define? So meaning, we have to have group leaders or group coordinators. So meaning, precinct coordinators. So if we have how many precincts? We have to have precinct leaders that will campaign based on the voters list. So ang kampanya nato sa listahan na, X o check o X lang, kanang alanganin, so question. So para we will know as early as of this time kung pila yung tanan ng atoa. So as we go nearer to the election day, we will, kaning mga alanganin o kanang walay commitment, patuyukan yun na nato isa-isa to commit. Para we will have the name, no? The name of those people that are really going for us. Dali naman na, kay taas pa man, no? And at the same time, sa uban, sa ato, hindi man applicable because we have an organization na we can rely on. In some other areas, we suggest na pag-pick sa kandidato should be on election day. Dili ang kandidato mo pick of early. Dili po ang organization mo dako og kadaghan samtang layo pa. Kaya naman, lisod man na nimo i-sustain og daghan pakanon, mahurot imong kwarta, wa pay eleksyon. So dapat dito na kamo daghan kanang isa ka semana na lang eleksyon na para gamay na lang imong sustenance, gamay lang ang imong budget.
Ito sa una kay Mayor Alan Undos, urtang ko sa department.
So, kung manig siya na, hindi kani pinahanglan ng profile, map of the area, kay magbuhat ta og mapping kung magbuhat ta war room nga naa na didto tanan karon tanan pila man gyud ang atong target to win tanaw na to for Congress. This is our target. For example, our target is 28,000, 30,000. Kanang atong 30,000 kinsa man so meaning na atong nang store daan ng data kung kinsa ni daan tanan based on the voters list up to nga magdagan ang panahon, no? Next is command, no? The next element is command. In political campaign, political machinery. So we have to have the organization. So we have to have our Air Force. Kira man eh. So that is our media group. So, but Air Force, that's not necessarily ang imong mga aeroplano na aming mga political campaigns nga tabanong pray kontra sa aeroplano, hindi. Lahat ng radio stations, radio ibaktas ray amo daw ni. It's how you use your Air Force. We have sectoral group, women, youth, tanan, o business group, mining group, that's are considered na ay naglihok anak nga lahi. Na ako'y lahi nga naglihok for operations group, mo ning atuang barangay-barangay, mo nang atuang based on the voters list. We have also the secretariat that will support if we needed this and that. We should be channeled to the secretariat. This will play vital role. Kung kinahanglan nimong support nga artillery, you need the secretariat to support you. Of course, we have the coordinators that will be trained properly. And we have the special operations group. Morning, kung mag-andam, kung hadlokon ta, di manghadlok pod. So kung na mangisog sa ilam o kung di mangisog for us, so we have to be prepared. And we have to give them the position already kung asa na sila. Then the regular campaigners and volunteers that we have, so saan na ito pag-handle. So this is the political attack diagram. That's the candidate and that's the opponent. Usually that's the political party machinery. Muna yung kalaban sa tikas. But we have to have political alliances. with other political forces. We have personal machinery, sectoral, special dirty tricks department. Dirty tricks should be prepared. Dili lang kay maghuwat ta o unhan ta. So we have to be prepared. So it's vital in political campaign. Kaya at least ready na ka, pag-iunahan ka, halapira. So this is the proposed structure. I know that we have already the structure, but the campaign manager should be running the show with the secretariat around, all the candidates nasa taas. The media group will be playing vital role with finance, research, special operations, training, legal and sectoral, in the barangay party chairman of 100. So if that is the structure, ang tanan, gikan sa campaign manager, which is in charge of the operations, diri tanan, amo na ning pila by boto nga atong kuhaon kada barangay. O na, pero atong media and propaganda will support ang atong finance, ang atong research. They want research kung pilay kulang, kinsay ano diha, kinsay mas kusgan, based on the records, kinsay mga daghang paryente, special operations, moning mga grupuha na mag-andam na og ang atong mga tao hadlokon, mo po di po musukol. Then operations and training. So we have to have training team that will train all these people in the ground para isara unison ng atong resulti. And our legal team mo po na mag-prepare sa ato that all actions nga atong ginabuhat and mo remind sa ato nga legal ba nga atong ginabuhat. At the same time, preparing for the election day that will be training our watchers, and the sectoral alliances will play vital role also. Of course, our analysts and consultants that will analyze for the candidate. These are the sectoral and at the same time the party liners, precinct liners, no? Kanang precinct liners, kada presinto dapat na ata. If we have 501 precinct, then we have 501 people lining the precinct and herding our voters on election day. So we have the sectoral alliance. So next, the fifth element is doctrine. Doctrine is organization, control, assignment, ranks of officers in war, no? Supply route, principal items used by the army. So in political campaign, this is the campaign system and doctrine. So muna training topics, meaning our people should know who is our candidate. What is the platform of government? What is the traits and characteristics na sila? What are requirements to become? The packaging, how are we selling our candidate to the people, the integrity and honesty. At the same time, the commitment in serving God, country, and everything. No? So those are topics that will help us the training topics. No? So in olden times or even now, these are the 5 elements are being used. And those who master these 5 elements win the war. That's why in political campaigns, based on that principles, we are laying down rules of engagement. This is very important for us to have synchronization of movement. Number 1 rule, no? Thou shalt not be cheated. Dili yung ka magpatikas. Kaya kung magpatikas ka, mas gasto pa ang protesta kaysa magprepara o eleksyon. So mas maayo pa in short kung ikaw manikas kaysa ikaw matikasan. So that's rule of political campaign. That's the basic rule in political campaign. So number 2, in calculated battles, in every army, all the generals, all the leaders before they go to war, they size up the opponent to determine victory. Assess dangers and disturbances is the proper course of action for military leaders. Tanan, since olden times, gikan pa sa ilang mga panahon nila, huglaykan, dinistan, diniskan, tanan-tanan. They would always size up the opponent before going to war. Kaya, before we will start a political campaign, we have to be prepared. We have to size up opponents to determine victory. Assess our inability and proper campaign planning is the first course of action in a political campaign. Kaya if at the very beginning our planning is not properly done, then we have problem because we have a wrong plan, we have a wrong approach, then we have a wrong result. Number two, fighting scheme. Una talaga, in everything, in every war, it's the superior military artist while schemes are being laid. In short, rule number three, plan with the experts. No? The experts are the people in the ground, dili lang kita. Ang mas nahibalo sa nahitabo atong niaging eleksyon katong mga tao nga didtua. Ang mga nahibalo kung unsay nahitabo katong atong mga coordinators on the ground. So we have to tie up all these experiences and the experiences that we have to be able to come up with a good plan. At the same time, we have to show rivals that they cannot win while our schemes are being made. Espionage and warfare, this is very important. Spies are useful everywhere. That's rule in war. Be vigilant because there are always people that will be disloyal to us. So be vigilant. Delete mo open. That's why when we say we will create the core group of 7 ni Vice, I told Vice that we will select the most loyal people. Kay if somebody would leak the what we are doing, then wala alkansi na tapang the start.
Are you guys loyal?
Yes.
Be vigilant. It would be better that we will be putting spies on their team so that we will know what they're doing. Muna importante, political spies are very useful in political campaigns. Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is to face the unprepared with preparation and victorious. We have to reckon, we have to know what they're doing. Don't be caught by surprise. Dapat we have to be prepared. Advance party, information dissemination is very important in any campaign activity. So mo nang dapat we have to do all these things also. Don't be caught by surprise, like the Pearl Harbor thing. Caution in one. Being movable as a mountain. Meaning, be in control. Simple lang ang shortcut in political campaign. To win, discernment and solidification of the command votes propels the campaign to victory. Unsa man yung command votes, these are the votes that will surely go to us. Pero atong mora na atong alagaan as the PBMC votes. If we can discern and solidify this, then we are sure winners. So mora na yung shortcut sa winning. Be in control. Defensive battle. Kani, not all battles, there is a Dinagat. Fighting in your own territory is called a ground of the solution. But in fighting in Tubahon, we have to be patient. That's why when underdog, fortify defenses and wait for the opportune time to counterattack. Pagbuhat, like the David and Goliath thing. So when you are underdog, you have to fortify defenses. Then wait for the opportune time, then you might hit the good luck. As principle number 7, offensive battle. Number 8, principle of war is be persistent. No? Ayaw kaluya, hinay lang, be persistent. When you are in the advantage, use it to gain more advantage. So we are in the advantage, we are going to use that to gain more advantage. And rule number 9, strength and battle. Though effective, appear to be ineffective. Because war is based on deception. So it's political campaign. Be quiet. When strong, appear to be weak. You are a sleeping dragon, appear to be weak. But you're strong, be quiet. Pero sometimes there are skirmishes and there are battles that you are underdog. So weakness and battle, strength and weaknesses are matters of formation. That's why sometimes you got to be a peacock, to be wise. Appear strong, appear big while you're building sufficient forces to defeat enemy on election day. In some areas and in some precinct, we have to do that. Haughtiness and battle. The rule is use humility to maintain haughty. And be humble. Use the advantage to hide the killing blows. Be humble. Rule number 11, humility. Na pwede ba ang lamok kung patay o baki? That's the rule. Ang patsyon sa lamok ang baki. That's the ultimate rule of war. Be humble. And diplomatic relations, this is very good. I know that the Honorable Vice Governor is very good in diplomatic relations.
Thank you.
Don't generalize. This is very good. Always remember that your enemy's enemy is your friend. And your enemy's friend is not necessarily your enemy. Ayaw generalize, no? Kung kalaban na sa imong kalaban, ang imo na amigo. Pero, ang amigo sa imong kalaban, dili man ang imong kalaban. Ayaw generalize. Sama ato, pana. So, negotiate. Don't negotiate, don't generalize. So, rule number 12, negotiate now. Rule number 10, actually, knowledge of battle. When you know the place and time of battle, then you can join the fight from 1,000 miles away. So meaning it's very important that all of us should know, should do our homework, knowledge of all the aspects of political campaign, ensure victory in an electoral bid. Be wise as Merlin. We don't need to know all the details, but we have to have knowledge of almost all. No? Sandi lang ng detalye, mga matana, basta kay we are knowledgeable of all. Hindi mawala po. We have to do our homework. At the same time, rule number 14, striving in battle, that there be no attack on ground of contention. Sabihin, know when to fight. No? Not all battles are to be won. Sometimes you have to sacrifice pieces to win. No? You have to sacrifice pieces to checkmate the opponent. Try to be ahead of your opponent if you cannot. Reserve forces for the final round because there are battles that ought not to be won. Warfare is based on deception. So, political campaign is based on deception. That's why in rule number 15, be optimist. Always impress upon our voters that that we are winning even if we are losing in some. No? Even if we are not. So it's more on the perception. Kaya kung kita, mag-una-una tayo ngayon, marang mapildit-pildit na diha, wala na, guba na kamada. So daw yung kapermi. Taking advantage of the enemy, anger his generals, confuse the enemy, keep him under a strain and wear him down. Divert attention. Diversionary. So these are, the lefts are very good in diversions. So we have to be prepared for this. So anger is political landers and confuse the candidates so they cannot concentrate on the plans. Then elite fighters. So this is very important for us, art of delegation. Match individual skills of your team members for the job to be performed. So we are a team. So team is very important. Since we are the leaders, we know the art of delegation. And number 18 is have to have an instructed people to go into battle is tantamount to abandoning them. That's why we have training is vital. So we have to train our people because training propels the campaign to victory. So meaning, kung ato train how to sell our candidates and how to campaign, then they have advantage against our opponent. I could still remember during a time of training, maski unsaon pagluto o gaw-gawa kung may tarpaulin sa una, tuluan me when we were trained. Pagbutang, pagbuhat o paraphernalia sa nantanan. No? Pagluto o buwan, and all the rest. Organizing the nantanan. Caring in war, this is the things that sometimes many tend to forget. Look upon your soldiers as beloved children and they are willing to die for you. I have an experience in one campaign in Zamboanga na napildi na mo ang 3 votes lang ang kontra kaya ang ilang katabang 5 kabuok buwagin dito sa ilang. Because caring for your people, political campaign must start from campaigning the day. So, Ang uban, mapas mo atong driver, mapas mo atong mga para dikit. These are people that we ought to care because they are vital in our campaigning. So we have to take care for them. Kaya kani o kani ang gustoria, then we will have problems. And rule number 20, training soldiers. One person can teach 10, 10 can teach 100, and 1,000. So that's why importance of training. Training people to train more people to join us in the secret of training elections, because election is mathematics. We have to, election is always a decision.
Tama pala si
Using the principle of the
Tama
classic
pala si
story of
Jimmy.
Sun Tzu, if you are able
Nabidala sa
to, the foremost rule in political
Matay sa
campaign, be extremely subtle even to the point of
Tinlis po.
formlessness, be
Tinlis po.
extremely
Rando
mysterious
po.
even to the point of soundlessness, thereby you can be the director of the state. I've been political analyst and consultant of several cities and municipalities. Maski ang ilahang mga kapitan, wala na kaila sa ako, and I've been handling them for how many years already. So meaning I became effective because I don't have a form and mysterious to some. And I direct on the opponent's fate and the opponent never know me. So I go to Cebu, kung asa man sa Luzon, to do consultancy. But our technique is based on this, and we won for several elections already. Based on that principle of war, katong istorya ni Sun Tzu nga sa usa ka general na most haughty general nga nasa ang iyang kalaban na simple general based na nag-hold lang on principles of Sun Tzu, no? Ang iyang lang isa kasi General A has more than 100,000 soldiers. Unya man haughty man siya, mugiro man siya. Unya si General B ang iyang sundalo around 20,000 lang. Pero niingon si General B nga kaya niya pildihon si General A. One time, tungod kay napugos lang ang mga tao ni General A, kaning 10,000 soldiers to support because ang iyang gikuan lang ang brute of his strength kay daghan sila. Niingon si General B, iyang gipadadag sulat si General A, hapit na siya ma-overrun, no? Kay 10,000 na doon iya, 100,000 doon ang kontra. Ingon si General B nga, mapildi nato na siya kung mamatay ang si General A. So what he did is, nagulat siya kay General A, but he studied all the terrain, kung asa moagi, ang weather, iyang gihap, kung asang hangin, kunya iyang gitanaw kung unsang orasa mo abot kay ang panahon. Iyang i-calculate po ang distance. So, tanan, kung asa unsa kaduol, asa magikan, kung kapoy na ba sila. So we have to know that. So what they did, si General A, i-atake si General B, nga 10,000 soldiers. Si General A, dunay 100,000. Si General B ni atras gamay, iyang gitunan si General A, unya nagbilin siya sa ka-note dito sa kahoy. Kay hoti si General A, iyahang gidiretso og adto ang note dito sa kahoy. Unya gikapoy pa man si General A, nilingkod siya. Unya during that time, calculated naman ang hangin. Unya kay dulong-dulong naman pag-abot nila atong kahoy. Niingon si General A sa iyang tao na, Sir, naisulat diri for you, gikan sa General B. Unsa man, di man ako maklaro, sir, kay ngit-ngit naman. Hala, sige, sindi og suga o posporo. Ang nakabutang sa note, diri nining lugara o karon nga orasa, ikaw mamatay. I-calculate man, then the arrow flew, kay calculated man with the wind, namatay siya General A, and they defeated the 10,000 soldiers because of calculations and proper planning. So in short, if we're going to do that in the war, the battle has just begun. And in short, if we plan it properly, like our